Today, we're going to be getting into some very practical tips that can support you in navigating the uncertainty of the economy right now. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma BF. I am a leadership coach and I am the CEO and founder of Rise Up Leadership. And my mission is to support women in tech to step into leadership and own their voice. Because just last week, I was talking to a handful of clients, women I work with, and they all had this theme of uneasiness, fear, and really not feeling safe with what's going on in the economy right now. And since I primarily work with leaders who are in the technology space, we know there are a lot of layoffs happening in tech right now. We know there are hiring freezes going on. And so it's very logical and it's very normal to have those feelings of anxiety and nerves during this time. But I want you to know that the core approach that you can take right now is to step into leadership, and that will get you to a place where you're feeling more confident about navigating this time of uncertainty. And I'm going to give you very practical tips and tools today to be able to support you to navigate it. Because the truth is, if you can stand out as a leader in your company and on your team right now, it will not only help you within your own company and hopefully minimize the risk of getting laid off or downsized, but it will also give you that feeling of safety, security, and comfort, knowing that you know what your core skills are and that you can take those skills to elsewhere in case something happens. So that's what we're going to be getting into today. And the very first piece of advice that I want to start with, and I'm going to write this down so that you have it. I'm going to write it on a little whiteboard. Also, welcome to the mountains of New Hampshire. This is where I live. It's so beautiful. I thought I'd come to you from outside today. So the very first thing that we are going to do, and I'm going to invite you to think about, is to know your numbers. Know your numbers. So what do I mean by this? What I mean by this is your dollar signs, your income level. I want you to go to your budget for the month and give yourself a few minutes with either yourself or with your partner or your family to get very clear on your numbers. Because the truth is, we can very easily create a scenario in our head that feels like worst case scenario, where we say things like, well, everything is going bad, the economy is tanking, and there's not that. It feels this like create this feeling of helplessness and hopelessness, where in fact we want you to ground yourself in your actual numbers. So knowing how much money is coming in, knowing how much money is going out, simply by taking a look at your budget, so that you are clear and your emotions can be based in facts when it comes to how you're doing financially. When you're grounded in that space, it's going to be a lot easier for you to make decisions not from a place of fear or scarcity or worst case scenario thinking, but to feel grounded in knowing that, okay, this is how much money is coming in. What happens if that money shrinks? How else can I make money? How else can I create income? How else can we trim back on expenses? Now, usually I'm here for more of trying to figure out how you can create more money instead of pinching yourself off from expenses. But tightening the belt is a very real thing in this type of economy. So we want to acknowledge that it is true. Okay, so the first step is to know your numbers, get grounded in this reality. Please do not be spiraling out into worst case scenario all the live long day. As someone who has worked through a lot of anxiety, I know that that does not help us move forward. It does not help us make clear decisions. And so we really got to be grounded in what's the current reality so that we can make decisions moving forward. All right. The second piece that I really want you to be focusing on is asking the question, how can I stand out at work? How can I stand out at work? I want you to think about this because often what I find specifically with women in tech, and I worked with men as well who are I would say, not aggressive, not super loud extroverts, like actual sensitive, kind, loving, introverted people. Not that those types of leaders cannot be that, but it's just my experience of trends in tech. Is how can I stand out at work? This is where I'm going to be asking you to put aside the fears of coming off as too braggy or Miss Cocky thing by sharing an accomplishment that you have had at work. So, what I'm going to invite you to do, because the goal here is to stand out at work, because as companies are starting to tighten the belt and they're taking a look at who they have on payroll and what the structure is, they're going to be looking for the people who are standing out so that they put them on the list of not getting laid off. Now, this isn't a guarantee. This is no silver bullet thing, but really what we want you to be doing is how can I stand out at work? And that may mean that you share with your team, with your manager, or with your company one win, project, or success that you're either currently having or you most recently had. Share a key result from a current or recent project. Share a win. Share a project success. Share a client story. Share a win from your team, because if these wins happen in a vacuum and you're not telling people about it, then no one's going to know what you're up to and they're not going to know what value you're bringing to the company. So this could be very simple. You could share it in your one-on-one with your manager. You can make a quick video. People don't do videos anymore. So you could really stand out and make a video sharing your one win, your one big project success, hyping up your team, allowing them and showing yourself what impact you have helped create in your company. That is going to help you stand out at work. That's going to help you feel more confident. And it's going to help you identify a key result or story so that if you go on the job hunt, you have a great story to tell. Okay? So that's the second thing. I want you to ask yourself, how can I stand out at work? All right, moving on. I hope you all are getting a lot of value out of this. Please go ahead and hit like, comment, and subscribe below so that I can know to bring you more content like this and be able to support you through this really intense time. Okay? So the second question, third point, is I want you to be asking yourself, what are my 3 key transferrable skills? What are my 3 key transferrable skills? Now, transferable skills are talked often in kind of the job search process, and I do job search coaching as well. Not that much anymore, mostly focus on leadership, and we're still talking about what are our core transferable skills. Because what this is going to allow you to do is either use that as a tool to stand out at work by sharing your 3 core, I wouldn't call them transferable skills, but transferable skills are really the skills that you have in one role that you can then transfer to another role, or you can transfer to another company. And so those are kind of like core competencies. And what you're going to be able to do once you know your transferable skills is, again, you can either share that with your manager, with your team, but most importantly, knowing your transferable skills is going to be really helpful because it's going to ground you back to like grounding you in this reality that even if something happens, even if layoffs come, even if tightening belt happens, like you have core transferable skills that can transfer to another company. They can transfer to maybe doing some side hustle work if you want to create more opportunities for revenue. Knowing your transferable skills is incredibly helpful, and it's super important. It's important in general to know what your transferable skills are so that you feel like, yes, I am creating value, and I know that if something happens, I know where I can pivot. Okay? So the way I invite you to get clear on your transferable skills is very simple. What you're going to do, I'm looking down because I have my little notes, because, we got to have the notes, is to ask 3 people. So I want you to think about 3 people in your inner circle. This could be a mentor, this could be a friend, this could be a colleague, past or present. I almost said future. Ask your future colleagues. Go talk to them somewhere. No, sorry, just having a moment. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to identify those 3 people in your inner circle. What I'm going to ask you to do is literally text them. Literally email them. I know it's crazy asking for help, asking and actually asking for something in return. I want you to ask those 3 people one question. What are the skills, or you could say traits, that you admire about me? What are the skills or traits that you admire about me? And I would maybe give them a 3. Give them a number. What are the 3 skills or traits that you admire about me? And what I love about this approach is that you could do it in a way where you identify your own transferable skills by asking yourself this question, right? What are the 3 skills or traits that I admire about me, that I know I'm a badass at, that I know is kind of in my zone of genius, if we will? But what I love about this approach is that it takes the pressure off of you to figure out what your skills, what your transferable skills are, and it invites people into your inner circle to give you that feedback. Also, because what I find, and I found this with myself, especially early on in my leadership journey, is that people giving me feedback is a way that I believe it more. You know, if I told myself I was a badass, if I told myself I was a really skilled project manager, I was a really skilled data architect, I was a very skilled leader, me telling myself that was not as powerful as hearing it from my community, hearing it from the people I know, love, and trust, right? So this is a way that you can kind of like get out of your own head and ask people to be a part of your process, and most importantly, mirror you so that you feel supported and you get clear on those transferable skills. Okay, so that's the 3rd piece of how to navigate this time of uncertainty, especially given the economic downturn that we're experiencing and maybe planning to experience for the next 6 months. So I trust you're getting a lot of value out of this, and I'm curious to know in the comments, what is resonating with you? What aha moments are you having? What questions are coming up from you? Go ahead, give us a like, comment, and subscribe again so I can make sure we create this type of content that's very valuable to you. Okay, the last piece here, the last piece, which you're already practicing doing in the previous step, is I want you to be intentional and commit to building your network. And maybe it's not building, maybe it's expanding your network. Maybe it's solidifying your network. Maybe it's re-engaging your network. Whatever it is we're talking about. I love this. I don't remember who said it, but yeah, I don't remember where I heard it or who said it, but they said, build your well before the water runs dry. Build your well before the water runs dry in the context of networking, in the context of connections. Because the truth is, you're going to land so much softer based on whatever happens if you have a support network beneath you. And I don't want you to be hitting crisis mode before you start building your network of support, before you start building your well. I want you to build your well, fill your well up with water before it runs dry. So what this means is I'm going to be inviting you to do a concept called 3-minute networking. And the concept is pulled from James Altucher, who wrote this book called Skip the Line. And in Skip the Line, it's a great book, by the way. Totally go check it out. I love his stuff. And what he talks about, I can't remember if he said 3-minute networking or some number minute networking. And what he recommends is going to your phone, going to your cell, which I actually don't have outside. Win for focus. And what he says is like scroll through your texts and take a look and find somebody who you haven't connected with in a while, but they're in your network, you know them, you trust them, you like them, and send them a message. And for 3 minutes, we want you to reach out to like 10 people. 10 people, a quick text that could say something like, hey, I've been thinking about you and I want to know, how are you doing? ? Or maybe you reach out to them and say, hey, so and so, like, I just read this great article and I was thinking about you and I thought you'd enjoy it. Or you can send a favorite song that made you think of them. Or I love just doing like the hello gifs, you know, like there's a great gif of a bear being like, hi, hi. And I just love like sending that to people who have been on my mind. And so what that means is then I'm now top of mind for them, and I can reestablish and recreate a connection with them to find out what they're up to, let them know what I'm up to. And therefore you start building your network before you need it. And that's super important. So that's another action step you can take is take 10 minutes, right? Take 10 minutes to text. To text your crew, go through your text message list, scroll through it and take 10 minutes and reach out to somebody and either say hello and ask how they're doing, ask how you can support them, or send them a resource or a document or something that made you think of them so that they know that you're top of mind. Okay? So those are 4 very actionable, practical approaches that you can be doing to step into leadership. Again, the goal here is while we're navigating uncertainty of the economy and the market, you get to be stepping into your leadership, because I guarantee it is the one skill, it is the top skill that is going to help pull you through to the other side of this economic downturn. You stepping into your leadership, people knowing, seeing, and understanding you as a leader is going to position you to either stay at your company, get a promotion, or if you get laid off or something changes, you are feeling grounded, safe, and at least a little confident. I'm not going to say wildly confident because I know how that can be, but you are more confident and you're more grounded to be able to take an opportunity, create an opportunity so that you thrive during this time. Okay? I hope this video has been valuable. I hope it's helpful. This was just on my heart and it was top of my mind. I care about my community. I care about this community of women and folks who are stepping into leadership roles in tech. So give me a like, a comment, or a subscribe if this resonated with you, and let me know in the comments what's resonating with you the most. All right. Much love, y'all. Talk soon.